he's forced to do that do it, or because now you don't listen to me, go and do this job.
Yang kanan rap school ena buaja yang zara nama bano kalam.
From humble beginning to building a garage that supports many, Justin Amule proved that with passion, skill, and persistence, you can turn any tool, even a jack, into a ladder of success.
And have a very warm late welcome to this wonderful edition of the Morning Echo, where conversation is deeply sparked on Juba Echo TV. And yes, someone might be wondering what really happened today. Of course, you know, if you wake up late in this country, traffic will come for you. You will take some time to, you know, reach your working places. So I happen to be that. Otherwise, I'm not back to come and give you what are the news stories that we got and that we need to review for you to know right away, from socio-economic, political justice, and all that there is to know, including human interest stories. We are going to have them today, including, of course, the diplomatic relations related stories. We got you covered for all these stories that had been happening the whole of yesterday. We have to review them today for you to know what really went down yesterday, coming to yesternight. And yes, we have massive stories, with most of the news actually dominated by bilateral agreements between the country and the other countries that are our friends. So today I remain Nelson Madink, the host for the Morning Echo, and let's go for a quick morning drive, and we shall be back and take a look at what exactly went down yesterday in the newsroom across Juba and social media. And yes, that is some morning drive that we got done. And of course, there is the aerial view of Juba and the south region of the country where the beauty of our country lies. What they call the largest wetland in the world is in our country, and that's what you've just seen from the aerial view of Juba and of course the places around Juba, let's say from Juba to Bor and to Bentiu. Well, looking at the stories that we have to review today, let's first look at them in headlines. And the first one is Parliament reviews Constitutional Amendment Bill ahead of 2026 elections. Special court delays ruling on recording of Riek Machar proceedings. Task force calls for a speedy anti-trafficking law. And 2 security personnel killed in western Bahr el Ghazal. Meanwhile, South Sudan is strengthening regional and international diplomatic engagement. While Central Equatoria, Uganda moved to tackle cross-border insecurity, and rising prices squeezed Juba household. Meanwhile, in northern Bahr el Ghazal, tables 18.89 million US dollar emergency and livestock project. And then 3 persons with disabilities traveled to Entebbe after Juba airport incident. Nyandeng Corbino Kwanyenbol represents South Sudan in Vietnam. And of course, the other story is SPLM student leagues to launch a political rallies at Upper Nile University. Meanwhile, Chebet has been disqualified from Bahr el Ghazal Counties League as a result of the other case that happened in Munich. Now let's take a look at the Committee on Legislation and Legal Affairs for scrutiny. The committee has given 30 days to review the proposed amendment and report back to Parliament. And that's the story we have right there when it comes to the bill that has been presented to the National Legislative Assembly. Well, the next story that we have to look out for today is, of course, justice and rule of law. Well, Riek Machar's special court delays ruling on defense recording request. Riek Machar's special court delays ruling on defense recording request. The special court hearing the case against suspended first Vice President Dr. Riek Machar and 7 co-accused members of the SPLM-IO has postponed its ruling on a defense application seeking permission to audio and video record the remaining proceedings. During the 108 court session on Monday, presiding Judge Stephen Simon Binjingwa said the 3-judge bench had not finished its decision. The court has adjourned the matter until Wednesday tomorrow, August 19, when it expected to deliver its ruling. And that's the story we have right there based on what is happening on what they call a special court at Freedom Hall. Yes, the court ruling was adjourned yesterday, and it will actually resume tomorrow, Wednesday, to see either the court has actually accepted the video and audio recording of the case or not. So that is what we have right there. Moving on to the next story, National Task Force called for a speedy anti-traffic law. South Sudan National Task Force on Trafficking in Persons and Smuggling of Migrants is calling for the speedy enactment of anti-trafficking law. As the task force says, stronger legislation is needed to combat human trafficking and ensure offenders are prosecuted. The concern comes amid reports that conflict and displacement are leaving thousands of people increasingly vulnerable to exploitation. Yes, that's the news we have right there, of course, from the courtroom to the wider question of law enforcement. This development point to a broader issue that South Sudan is facing right now. Of course, a lot of laws are still not being permanently enacted simply because the Constitution itself is under review. Moving on to our next story, of course, security and border peace. Of course, there is a story about Central Equatoria that linked it to Uganda border. Based on the story, yes, security under pressure, new concern over insecurity and cross-border crime. Western Bahr el Ghazal, 2 security personnel were shot dead in Western Bahr el Ghazal state on Friday evening. The incident was allegedly carried out by armed youth from neighboring Gogrial East County in Warab state. Well, when you look at that story, it has been happening. You know, there is a conflict between the Dinka Marialba and the Dinka from Gogrial that has been an issue there. So linking the 2 states, Western Bahr el Ghazal to, of course, to Warab, and it has been happening for quite some time now. It's a bit political, as people say it. It is also based on other interests, which is more of border problems. So there had been some other places that has been in dispute. People are saying other people from the other state are saying they own it. Other people from this state are saying they own it, and that has been the cause of that problem for quite some time now. That is the story we have right here. Now moving on to Central Equatoria that I snipped early on. Well, of course, Central Equatoria authorities and officials from Koboko district in Uganda have agreed to strengthen cooperation to address cross-border insecurity and smuggling along the South Sudan-Uganda border. This story here is what we had been actually following since I think for more than 5 months now, we had been actually following this story. There has never been a week where this story has never, where we have never have to take a look at what is going on there. Yes, because of the escalation that normally happens there when it comes to Kajokeji border. So that is what we have right there. Moving on, of course, still in here, Central Equatorial State authorities, as they actually made officials from Koboko, they put on some strong measures to tackle smuggling and, of course, these border problems every day. Moving on to Western Equatoria State. Western Equatoria Deputy Governor Justin Joseph Marona says the state has recorded progress in peace building and institutional development over the past year. However, he said insecurity, cash shortages, weak public financial management, and limited humanitarian preparedness remain serious challenges. That's the story we got from Western Equatoria, where the governor deputy governor had actually put out some of the concerns that are facing the state and how far has the state tried to achieve some stabilization when it comes to the authorities' roles in the state. That's what we have right there. Now, of course, on still peace building versus insecurity. Now the question is South Sudan making progress faster than new security threats are emerging? That's the story we have right there. Now let's take a look at the diplomacy and regional peace. Well, according to the story here, South Sudan deepens diplomatic engagement as Kir meets new envoys and Sudanese political actors. Well, a new ambassador also had been actually meeting the president. President Salva Kiir Mayardit has received the letters of credence from the newly accredited ambassador of Germany. And yes, another ambassador that actually came in with something is, of course, Sam Enio Mays, Cote d'Ivoire ambassador. There's also Deepak Miglani, the ambassador of India, and also Sebastian Jos Bertram from Germany, as well Sitwat Naeem, ambassador from Bangladesh. The accreditation ceremony took place in Juba on August 17 and of course 2026, and that is the story we have right there. Well, Germany new ambassador to South Sudan, Sebastian Brockleman, says Berlin priorities include supporting implementation of the revitalized peace agreement and promoting geopolitical security and economic reforms. Well, President Kiir also renewed agreement with Sudanese political actors. He met Darfur Regional Governor General Mini Arko Minawi in Juba to discuss effort toward a peaceful resolution to the conflict in Sudan and renewed political dialogue. That is what we have right there. Moving on to our first story that also followed what had been a trend right now, because embassies of South Sudan had been going unpaid for some while, and it has actually caused a lot of stories around what people think. Yes, it was announced that Embassy of Kenya was closed, which was later on denied. And now there was another story that trended also about Embassy of South Sudan in Uganda to be also closed, which the authorities have also denied. The South Sudan Embassy in Kampala has dismissed social media reports claiming that it is closing its operations in Uganda. Well, diplomacy, multiple fronts kind of stories had been happening. What role is South Sudan positioning itself to play in regional peace and international cooperation? That has been the key issue to actually look at when it comes to the story that you just read. Now, let's go to the next phase of the news, where, of course, we got one very interesting story based on the economy, household, and development. Well, rising prices put pressure on Juba families as the state seeks development funding. Well, cost of living. Families in Juba are struggling to afford basic food and household goods as rising prices squeeze households' budgets. Traders at Kaburi Aboba market say they are losing customers as consumers reduce the quantity of goods they purchase. When prices rise and incomes don't, how are ordinary South Sudanese coping? These are the questions we are asking ourselves. When the cost of living rises, but the standard of living is not improving, the money, the salary is not coming, how do you really cope with the situation out there? These are some of the questions that we have to really ask ourselves about and take a look at it. Well, what is driving rising prices? That's the question you know very well. Depreciation of the national currency and many other factors. Why are consumers buying less? And how are traders themselves affected? So these are the things that we need to actually talk about, and what can government do to ease pressure on household. Now moving on to Northern Bahr Ghazal Estate. Northern Bahr Ghazal Estate has tabled a $18.89 million emergency and ambulance initiative and integrated livestock project. Looking at this story, funding is expected from Qatar, Egypt, Saudi Arabia, and the African Development Bank. From the emergency healthcare to livestock, can development financing translate into service for ordinary citizens? That's the question now, because when you look at most of the stories that we have around funding in this country, there has always been question of had the services that we go out asking people to help us, have they really been met? Well, the question is there for you to actually take a look at. There are a lot of money that has been actually acquired, funding that has been acquired, but had the funding really meet the need of the people? Had they reached to the grassroots? So these are the questions that we have to look at today. Now, let's go for a quick commercial break, and we shall be back and take a look at the remaining stories. Let's go for a quick commercial break, and we shall be back and take a look at the stories.
Sweetheart, I'm going to Entebbe.
Oh, amazing.
I was supposed to go on Tuesday, but I missed that flight.
Of course.
And I have to wait for tomorrow.
That is good that you're also going to Entebbe. What about you, Diana?
I also had Premier got to Mogadishu from Nairobi.
Okay, that is good.
Since they are dealing with cargo, I also have some cargo I have to send to Mogadishu.
Good. All the best. I just hope you get it and you're through with your cargo. Even you, Vicky.
Thank you, Daddy.
I just hope you get for tomorrow and you're
Thank
off.
you so much.
Thank you so much. I have to catch up. Let me let you.
Okay.
All right, dear. Thank you.
Hi, dear.
How are you?
I'm okay. I want to go to Entebbe tomorrow. Do you have space?
Yeah, tomorrow we have flight to Entebbe.
Okay, please. Kindly get me my ticket.
Okay, dear. Dear, here's your ticket.
Oh,
And thank you for choosing Premier Airlines.
thank you so much. At what time is the check-in,
Our
please?
check-in time tomorrow it will be at 7:30.
I can see it is included.
Yeah, okay.
All right, thank you so much.
You're most welcome. Enjoy your flight and your holiday.
Thank you so much.
At Premier Airlines, we are committed to providing you with the best travel offers and exceptional service, making every journey easy, fast, and stress-free. From smooth luggage handling to seamless boarding. Our experienced and dedicated staff are here to ensure your comfort and convenience every step of the way. Book your flight today and discover the skies with Premier Airlines. Visit our head office in Juba at Airport Business Center, Airport Road opposite Sadeco Building. Call the numbers on the screen, or you can as well email us today. We are here to plan your journey. Premier Airlines, discover the skies.
It's very bad. I have remembered for putting this car.
Please don't need the insurance.
Yes, hello? I just got involved with this. It's really looking terrible.
Would you kindly send me the detail on my WhatsApp? I'm gonna send you our team.
Please do that. Please do that.
Insure with New Sudan Insurance Company. New Sudan Insurance Company offers motor insurance, health insurance, hotel comprehensive insurance, marine hull and cargo insurance, group personal accident insurance, travel health insurance, fire insurance, contractors all risk, workmen compensation insurance, money insurance, goods in transit insurance, life insurance, property all risk insurance, performance bond, plant and machinery insurance, political violence and terrorism cover, and much more.
I will request you sign here. Okay.
New Sudan Insurance Company is your trusted partner in securing what matters most to you. You are not just a policy holder, you are a family. Visit New Sudan Insurance Company website www.nesico.com or call +211 925 955 000 or +211 919 123 678 or +211 925 478 766 to be part of this family and protect what matters most to you. New Sudan Insurance Company, your risk managers in the Republic of South Sudan.
SteamSat Company Limited, a solution to satellite services like DSTV, StarTimes, LNB, all types, subscriptions, free installations. We also do aluminium fabrication to doors, windows, partitioning, suspended ceiling, prefurb, panel cladding, glasses. Call us now on +211 925 068 406 +211 985 068. Email us on bnksolutions@hotmail.com.
Find us on Gudele Road after Pacific Petrol Station on the right hand, just 500 meters from Advance Radio.
The Morning Echo on Juba Echo TV. Now moving on to northern Baragazali state, where a ship has been detained after exposing plight of inmates in a Will West prison. The Internal Security Bureau, ISB, of the National Security Service has detained the paramount ship of Gumjuer Center in a Will West County after he visited Nyamalel prison and shared images of inmates' living conditions. Tito Duang Diu was arrested on Friday and transferred to a Will town after visiting the prison where he took photographs of detainees and later shared them publicly without government authorization. A Will West County Commissioner Abol Akok told one of the radio that actually visited the case. The visit followed the death of an inmate on Thursday, reportedly from hunger and illness. According to local reports, Duang had sought to draw public attention to the condition at the prison and encourage well-wishers to provide assistance to vulnerable inmates. Photographs by one of the radio showed inmates living in poor condition at Nyamalel prison, and the paramount ship was supposed to inform me, according to one of the people that was talking, the paramount ship was supposed to inform me if there was a problem, and I would have discussed the matter with the attorneys and judges so that inmates with minor cases could be released, while those facing serious charges could be referred to a Will State prison, Akok said. Paramount ship Tito Duang is currently under detention in a Will town, as the story is. And yes, there are these stories that are always happening. There are some serious problems when it comes to how the inmates' situations are. Let's take a look at most of the prisons that are across the country. Most of the inmates normally have very poor conditions, and these poor conditions start from hygiene, going to the food itself, and to many other things that are out there. I don't know, sometimes before actually putting someone in the prison, are we thinking that this person is in detention and government should take care of the person until the case is solved? Now, if the inmate dies before the case has been solved, now who will solve the case? Is it the government and the family of the victims, or is it who to actually get responsibility of that case? So these are some of the stories we have to seriously look at and reviewed thoroughly. And that's the story we have right there when it comes to Northern Bahr el Ghazal Estate. One of the stories to look at today also is from of course, it's about families in Juba are struggling to afford basic food and household good as rising prices squeeze household budgets, while traders at Kabura Boba market say they are losing customers as more people cut back on what they buy. Well, you must know exactly what is going on in the country. A lot of people are going through and they cannot actually afford basic services, and that story is what you should look at. When you go to the market, everyone is complaining right away from the scene where people buy and sell. Starting from the sellers to the buyers, everyone is complaining. In one way or another, we are being affected. The traders are not getting the money from the people who are supposed to actually buy their products, simply because there is no enough money out there. Now, moving on to one of the stories that has actually been trending on social media yesterday is about three people with disabilities that were actually not allowed to go to Uganda to participate in that game that was supposed to take place there. According to the story that broke yesterday, well, three persons with disabilities are flown to Entebbe after being denied permission to travel from Juba International Airport on Sunday. And yes, if you know the story of what has been happening, yes, members of with disabilities have been taken to Uganda to go and participate in a competition that is organized to put people with disabilities together to come and actually show their talents that they can actually have as people that are there. And now, one of the most interesting stories that has been out there is the student rallies that has been happening in the universities. Before 2020, there has been a very good rally system that has been happening between political parties, students who are in the universities, and the people that comes outside and attend these rallies. Now the rallies are officially opened in Upper Nile University, and the SPLM student leagues at Upper Nile University will tomorrow, which is today actually, August 18, launch its 2026-2027 political rallies at the Muniki campus starting at 10 a.m. If you want to see SPLM members and the people who oppose them and see people actually talking stories and actually opposing each other with unfiltered language, you need to attend this thing. You will actually, your day will be made. Because it has a principle that says, whatever that happens right away from those avenues remains there. And you have the liberty to say whatever you want to say, challenge the government to the best ability that you could, and everything around it. I hope they open the University of Juba rallies as well. There is a tree there called Liberty Tree, where these activities are done, and it will be fun. The day you attend those rallies, when they open officially in the University of Juba, you will have fun. You will see exactly the unfiltered version of people opposing the government, and government also trying to oppose the opposition and defending their position as the ruling party. So these are the rallies that actually give students the right to exercise their freedom of expression, and I think it's a great beginning if it has started from Upper Nile University. Maybe soon University of Juba will follow, and everything will actually start as back to normal. You'd see different political parties and how capable some of the opposition students are when it comes to what they can present to the public. So that is what we have right there from the universities. Now, of course, moving on to one of the stories that has been trending, it's about Bahr el Ghazal counties tournament. Well, Chuaibet County has been disqualified from the ongoing Barghazal County's tournament following an incident on Sunday in which fans invaded the pitch and assaulted players and supporters from Twitch County. And yes, according to the authorities in Juba City, Central Equatoria, they have actually called for a suspension of all the community-based kind of tournament within Juba for some time. And the letter is officially out, and you can read it from your screen right there. So, in another letter, of course, the Chuaibet County football team has also put on their appeal by writing their own letter and posted online, saying that they are not contented with the decision that was taken by the Barghazal Counties League tournament executives, because the same incident happened last year, done by Twitch Mayadit, and it has never been actually reached to this level of disqualification. So how is this case unique when it is the same incident that happened last year that has repeated itself? These are the questions that people are asking, and the community of Muniki are also concerned. When you look at the massive number of people that gets into that football field and see when the violence erupted, what has been done to most of the, the bamboo fences that are around there. They were all dismantled to take and fight. All the bamboos used for fencing the houses, they had been used for beating each other there. People are beating themselves with the bamboos of someone who had used that fence for protecting his family. And it has actually shown a bad character to the community, and that has prompted the community to also remove the goalposts from that football field. And as of yesterday, I think they're still working on it, and the community is still having a negotiation with the management of the BCT and the Juba City Council to find a proper solution. And I think one of the solutions is the suspension that has been announced officially as of yesterday. Now, of course, there is a story of one of our models that is representing us in Vietnam. Nyandeng Carvino Quanyin Bol has been to Vietnam to represent the country in what they call Miss World competition, beauty pageant that happens in the Eastern Asia. So based on the story, there is a project that she made, and that project has a little bit of documentary that we have for you. So let's take a look at the documentary, and we shall be back to come and sign off officially after you have watched that project documentary. Let's watch the documentary of the projects of Miss World South Sudan that is there.
Every girl is born with dreams. Dreams of learning, of leading, of becoming the woman she was created to be. But for many girls, those dreams are interrupted long before they have the opportunity to flourish. Child and forced marriage continues to deny many young girls the chance to complete their education and shape their own future. Yet I believe that every girl deserves the freedom to choose her own path. My name is Nyandeng Kerbino Kwanyan, Miss World South Sudan, and this is Breaking the Cycle, my Beauty with Purpose initiative dedicated to preventing child and forced marriage through awareness, education, and community engagement. I believe that lasting change begins when communities come together to protect the dreams of every girl. Since launching Breaking the Cycle, I have begun working with 10 survivors of child and forced marriage. Every story reminds me that behind every challenge is a young woman with courage, potential, and hope. Together we have created safe spaces where they can share their experiences, rebuild confidence, and support one another. Through mentorship, education, meaningful conversations, they are rediscovering that their dreams still matter. Our journey is not defined by the past, but by the opportunities we create for the future.
And it's school. Dil below, kita dal working and get over ya. Midara rakin, one kirial, ya mid chokpin. biya ti yin wa chan ba ke ga ko ne mo ne bo ti ku wala che cha ben la pai bi we pa che ben de ran ti na la de re ran tin ba lo la mi ta ban pana ga an re ra ri again.
Breaking the cycle extends beyond the girls themselves. We work with parents, teachers, traditional leaders, faith leaders, and young people to promote the importance of girls' education and the right of every child to make informed choices about her future. By encouraging open dialogue and community participation, we are helping to build a future where girls are supported, educated, and empowered to achieve their full potential. This is only the beginning. My vision is to expand breaking the cycle across South Sudan by partnering with schools, communities, and organizations so that more girls can remain in school, pursue their ambitions, and build lives of dignity and purpose. When we invest in girls, we invest in stronger families, stronger communities, and a stronger nation. Beauty with Purpose is about using our voices to create lasting change. Through breaking the cycle, I am committed to ensure that every girl has the opportunity to learn, to lead, and to choose her own future. Because when one girl rises, an entire community rises with her. Together, we are breaking the cycle.
Together, we are breaking the cycle. Thank you so much.
Change begins when communities come together to protect the dreams of every girl. Since launching Breaking the Cycle, I have begun working with 10 survivors of child and forced marriage. Every story reminds me that behind every challenge is a young woman with courage, potential, and hope. Together we have created safe spaces where they can share their experiences, rebuild confidence, and support one another. Through mentorship, education, meaningful conversations, they are rediscovering that their dreams still matter. Our journey is not defined by the past, but by the opportunities we create for the future.
And it's school. Dil baloy, kita dal wat kinen ke tau ya. Mi dara ra kin, kwan kirial, ya mi chokpin. Biya ti yin wa chan ba ke ga ko. Ne mo ne bo ti ku wala che chak ben la pai bi we pa. Che ben de ran ti na la de re ran tin baloy la mi ta ban. Pana ga an re ra ri again.
Breaking the cycle extends beyond the girls themselves. We work with parents, teachers, traditional leaders, faith leaders, and young people to promote the importance of girls' education and the right of every child to make informed choices about her future. By encouraging open dialogue and community participation, we are helping to build a future where girls are supported, educated, and empowered to achieve their full potential. This is only the beginning. My vision is to expand Breaking the Cycle across South Sudan by partnering with schools, communities, and organizations so that more girls can remain in school, pursue their ambitions, and build lives of dignity and purpose. When we invest in girls, we invest in stronger families, stronger communities, and a stronger nation. Beauty with Purpose is about using our voices to create lasting change. Through Breaking the Cycle, I am committed to ensure that every girl has the opportunity to learn, to lead, and to choose her own future. Because when one girl rises, an entire community rises with her. Together, we are breaking the cycle.
Together, we are breaking the cycle. Thank you so much.
And yes, that is, of course, Ms. Nyandeng Karvino Kwanyin Bol right there, putting out the project as a reason why she actually contested for Miss World South Sudan beauty pageant in Vietnam. So our project is, of course, based on the stories around girls, forced marriages, early marriages, and the community. And the impact of the project is what you are actually witnessing right there. Now, there is another story on another part where the two young gentlemen who are very vibrant currently in South Sudan political arena. One of them is the head of civil society organization, which is none other than Edmond Yakani, and Bush Buse, the Minister of Youth, Culture and Sport, Central Equatoria. They said, and there was a question that was asked, who is the problem? Is it the government or the youth? What do the government do to the youth, and what do youth do to the government? All these things are the one they actually been talking about. So that story will actually leave us to have thoughts exactly which is the problem, and you can see the insight that they put out there can actually tell you and give you clear reasons on why we should have a proper awareness on youth and what to do. So let's take a look at the video. We shall come back and close up.
So the first people who best this society actually are the youth. Because if youth does not take a stand, it's going to be a challenge. You also allow yourselves, in the pretext that you don't have opportunities, to be manipulated by warlords and negative politicians. This thing happens in urban areas, but also in the rural areas. Now at the end, there is a kind of a blame game. It's the truth. Let us not dodge ourselves. The youth are saying government is the problem. They even mention names of leaders. So and so is the problem. The leaders are saying youth are the problem. The first manipulators of information are actually the youth. Today we are here. Go tomorrow and check the report of national security. Who report? Who report about it? Is it the director? But I'm actually saying the problem is not the government. The problem is not even the leaders. The problem is not the youth. The problem is the problem. Now, for us as the government and the youth, if we know that the problem is the problem, and the problem that we are trying to address is unemployment, corruption, poverty, insecurity, conflicts. These are the problems, right? Yeah. So let us join hands together, you, the youth, join the government to fight this problem. Okay. Thank you so much.
All right, welcome back from that wonderful insight that was actually put forward by the two vibrant young people that are actually putting a lot of energy and effort into the government to make sure that youth voices are heard and there is peace and stability in our country at all levels. So starting from the grassroots to the top government level, all these people are trying their best to making sure that they make a difference. That's the story we have to finalize the day with. And if you've been watching us since the onset of the program, let's take a look at exactly what are the stories that we had for today that I had right here. Well, the first story was, of course, Parliament is reviewing a constitutional amendment bill intended to clear the way for the 2026 December general elections. Well, the special court will rule Wednesday on the defense request to record the remaining proceeding in the Riek Machar case. The National Task Force on Trafficking is calling for speedy enactment of anti-trafficking law. Meanwhile, 2 security personnel were killed in western Barghazal at South Sudan. South Sudan continues diplomatic engagement with the international partners and Sudanese political actors. Rising prices are putting pressure on households in Juba. Meanwhile, on other news, authorities in Central Equatoria and Uganda are strengthening cooperation against cross-border insecurity and smuggling. And yes, the final story which we had is, of course, about our global representation, South Sudan beauty pageant representation in the global stage, where Nyandeng Karbino Kwanyimbol is representing the country. And we are waiting until the final day of the competition to see what will she come home with. Will she emerge the winner? Will she do what? All these things will be seen later on. Otherwise, do stay with us as we bring you tomorrow, Wednesday, the 3rd edition, with a guest that is going to be in the studio. From here, me to you, bye for now.
Echo.